let's talk about something that I think we all struggle with. It's this weird paradox, right? Why do we sometimes fight against a change, even when we know deep down it's exactly what we need? Well, it turns out it has very little to do with willpower, and a whole lot more to do with the way our brains are built. So, let's dive in.
Okay, be honest. Have you ever been here? You're stuck in a job that you absolutely dread. I mean, it just drains the life out of you. Every Sunday night, you feel that pit in your stomach. You fantasize about quitting, but you just don't. You keep going back day after day.
Or maybe it's this one, a relationship that's just over. You know it. They probably know it. It's taking so much more from you than it's giving. But the idea of actually walking away, it feels terrifying, completely impossible. So you just stay. You're just kind of stuck.
Now, if any of that sounds familiar, it's so easy to get down on yourself, right? To think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just make the change? You might even call it weakness or a lack of courage. But I'm here to tell you that is absolutely not what's going on.
It's not a character flaw. It's just psychology. It's a completely normal, totally predictable way that our brains are designed to work. And honestly, once you understand this, it's like a light bulb goes on. So many of your own past actions are suddenly going to make a whole lot more sense. So, let's get to the root of it. Why are we like this? Well, it all comes back to one thing. Your brain's #1 job. Its prime directive, survival. You see, your brain is constantly doing this weird kind of risk assessment. On one side, you have a familiar pain. Sure, it sucks, but it's known. It's predictable. On the other side, you have an unknown pleasure. It could be amazing, but it's also uncertain. It's a gamble. And for a brain that's obsessed with keeping you alive, uncertain and risky sound a lot like dangerous. It will almost always choose the devil you know over the angel you don't. And get this isn't just a metaphor. It's literal biology. When you're faced with uncertainty, the parts of your brain that light up on an MRI scan are the exact same regions that fire up when you're feeling pure gut-level fear. That's why thinking about a big move can feel like you're standing on the edge of a cliff. Your body is treating it like a real physical threat. And this right here is probably the most important thing to understand. When your brain is weighing a big decision, it's not operating from a place of what's best for your long-term joy or fulfillment. It's not asking the question you think it is. It isn't asking. It's asking something much, much simpler and more ancient. Could this hurt me? That's it. Job #1 is threat detection. And in that calculus, anything new, anything unknown gets flagged as a potential threat until proven otherwise. Okay, so we've got the survival instinct. That's a huge piece of the puzzle. But there's another layer on top of that, another powerful psychological quirk that really stacks the deck against change. It's a concept called loss aversion. And believe me, this is one of the most well-documented and powerful biases we have. The idea is super simple. Psychologically, the pain of losing something feels way, way worse than the pleasure of gaining the exact same thing. Let me put it this way. Think about finding a $100 bill on the street. Feels pretty good, right? You get a nice little jolt of happiness. Now, think about losing a $100 bill out of your wallet. That feeling? It's awful. It stings. And research shows that sting is about twice as powerful as the good feeling of finding it. That 2-to-1 emotional punch makes us terrified of losing what we have. So let's go back to that job or that relationship. When you're thinking about leaving, your brain's loss aversion kicks into high gear. It's not daydreaming about the amazing new job you could get. No, it's making a list of everything you're about to lose, for sure. Your comfort, your daily routine, that feeling of control over a known situation, and something even deeper, your identity. Right. And this last one, identity. This is huge. This might be the deepest, most powerful reason we resist change, because ultimately a big change isn't just about your circumstances, it's about your very sense of self. It's about who you believe you are. Think about it like a domino effect. First, you change your habits or your environment. That leads you to start doing different things, and when you do different things long enough, well, you start to become a different person. You literally change who you are. And our brains can find that idea of a shifting identity really unsettling. There's this little voice in the back of your head asking this question, isn't there? Maybe your whole identity is the reliable one with a steady paycheck, or the person who never gives up. If you change that, then what? Who are you? It feels like stepping off a cliff into the unknown, and that is a deeply scary thought. Okay, so all of this, the survival instinct, loss aversion, the identity threat,
It all happens inside what we call the comfort zone. But you know what? That term is actually incredibly misleading.
Here's the thing. A comfort zone doesn't actually have to be comfortable at all. It can be a pretty miserable place, honestly. The only thing it has to be is predictable. That's the real magic ingredient for your brain. So we should really call it the predictability zone, because that's what we're actually clinging to.
And this is the bargain we're making with ourselves, whether we realize it or not. The fear of change is useful, sure. It protects you from the unknown today. But what's the price? The price is your future. That fear can absolutely steal the life you could have had, all for the sake of feeling safe in the moment.
So if fear is just baked into the process, what are we supposed to do? Just stay stuck forever? No. You see people making big changes all the time. The secret isn't that they're fearless. The secret is that they've learned how to take action while being afraid.
It really comes down to the story you tell yourself about what change means. Your fear-based brain sees danger, loss, and threats everywhere. But you can train yourself to have a growth-based mindset. That brain sees the exact same situation and finds opportunity, learning, and a chance to grow. It's the same reality, just a different lens.
And please, please remember this, because it's probably the biggest mistake we all make. We wait to feel confident before we take the leap. But that's completely backwards. Confidence is not the fuel for change, it's the exhaust. It's what you feel after you've done the scary thing and realized, hey, I survived.
So here's the bottom line. The next time you're facing a big change and you feel that fear, that resistance, that knot in your stomach, I want you to try something. Don't judge yourself for it. Don't call yourself weak. Just recognize it for what it is. It's your ancient, powerful brain trying to keep you safe. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you're human.
And with that in mind, maybe it's time we stop asking the old, tired question, what's the worst that could happen if I change, and start asking a much scarier, much more important question. What if the real risk, the one that could truly cost you everything, is staying exactly the same?